Hello and welcome to yet another episode of InstaTravelStyle Podcast Series. And today we have with us Deanna, directly from Boston, US. She runs a YouTube channel named Deanna Troy Travels. And she started her journey from 2017 during her backpacking adventure trip from 2016 to 2018, where she traveled to 12 plus countries with her fiance. And as a travel video content creator, she has collaborated with few companies, for example, GoAsiaDayTrip, Travello, and she has been also featured in a streaming platforms, for example, RokuTV and HideoutTV as a TV presenter and YouTube creator as well. Her YouTube channel is also listed in amongst the top 100 solo female travel YouTube channels on Feedspot as well. So glad to have you on my podcast, Diana. It is my pleasure to host you today and to know more about your journey, how you started in travel content creation, and how you emerged as a travel video creator in such a short span of time. So over to you, Diana. If you'd like to brief us something about you, how you started your journey, and about your social media handles.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Sumit. I am Deanna Troy Travels. As you said, my social media handles are just at Deanna Troy Travels on all the platforms. And as you said, I started my YouTube channel in 2017 when my then boyfriend, he's my fiance now, but we both were kind of done with our jobs. We were kind of dissatisfied. I was an art teacher, and he just wanted to make a change. So he had the idea that we should go backpacking. Mm-hmm. And originally it was only going to be for 1 year, but then we extended it for 2 years. So when we were living in Vietnam is when I decided to start my YouTube channel. And basically I just recorded everything we did from tours and cooking classes and hiking up mountains. So my YouTube channel, I'm still doing it now, even though we are back in Boston. But, you know, I have a lot of backlogged footage, so I'm showing all the 12 countries, you know, that we visited. And right now I have all my Japan and Vietnam videos up there, which help other people give secret tips of how to find the best spots and lodging and tips for being a budget traveler, which is something that we really prided ourselves on when we were on our trip. So I wanted to help everybody be able to just break out of their comfort zones and try new things and explore new places. So that's kind of the vibe that all my videos have. And exploring other cultures too, and showing different ways of life and ways that we can all basically just get along and share in each other's cultures and experiences. So that is kind of all about me and my channel. And since doing YouTube, obviously I also branched out to Instagram and Facebook and all the kind of stuff. So yeah, so that's a little bit about me. Thank you so much for having me.
Journey for you, like started from backpacking, then to exploring 12 plus countries. Like it's a kind of a great journey so far you have traveled. And you are doing the good amount of like social media influencing as well. You are also collaborating with brands as well.
Yes. So yeah, you mentioned one of the ways that I've been able to make a little bit of money with these videos and everything is from working with brands. So in Vietnam, I had a tour company, GoAsiaDayTrip, reach out to me and ask to have me do one of their tours and then make a video about it. So I did that. I had a travel insurance company have me do a sponsored video for them, where since it's a travel insurance company, they had me tell like a horror story that happened to me. So I did kind of like a story time video for that one. And another company, I'm looking at my little list here. Oh yeah. And then I did a video for a purse company where they have handmade purses in Bali. And I kind of did a more fashion-y type video of kind of fashion, but also helping you pack for your Southeast Asia trip. Okay. So yeah, basically I've just kind of been doing my thing, and either I reach out to people or they reach out to me. Yeah, and then we just make it happen. And obviously, you know, I has to go with the videos that I'm doing and with my theme of travel and Southeast Asia and Asia and helping people, you know, do have their best trip. So that's kind of how that worked out for me.
Awesome, awesome. So like how these companies reach out to you via emails, via social media, or do you have any kind of PR agencies? Like how do you collaborate with like major companies like you have mentioned right now? Like what is the channel? Like audience wants to know like how they can reach out to bigger companies and they can showcase their social media skills to them.
Let's see. Well, yeah, basically, first of all, just, having a lot of content on there for them to see. So they can get a bunch of, and having your best personality videos kind of like in front of your page. So if like the first thing they go to is your Instagram or YouTube, they can kind of see right away what you're about, who you are. And don't be afraid to reach out to people. Like for the company, a smaller influencer is going to be cheaper for them to hire. So even if you think like, oh, I'm not big enough, I don't have enough followers, they won't want to work with me. A lot of companies have been turning towards micro influencers to promote their products because it's just better for everybody. The micro influencers often have a closer connection with their audience than the bigger platforms. So the companies know that. Obviously also too, it's, win-win for everybody. So just go for it. Just keep making content and being yourself. And if you want to reach out to someone and it works, then go ahead. And of course, not everyone's going to say yes, but you might have a couple yeses. So that's my tips for that.
We just don't have to sit idle. We have to try.
What was the question?
Yeah. So next question would be around like right now this lockdown and due to Corona, all our travel plans have been paused. So how you are managing this time effectively? How do you managing your content? Like you previously mentioned, you are using previously published content you have used and which is not yet published online. So you are doing this kind of stuff. Like what other kind of activities you are right now indulging in? So you are making your audience engaged in this when there is no travel right now.
Yes. So this kind of, it's funny because at first I was, this is both like a curse and a blessing, but with the traveling, I collected so much footage and I did post very frequently, but I still have so much left over on Dropbox and iCloud and everything that with all the travel lockdowns and no traveling, I just have, a bunch of countries worth of footage. So I've just been sharing that I haven't shared yet. So these are all new videos, new pictures that I just have that I can share from my secret storage. So that's what I've been doing. So soon, actually, I'm just wrapping up my Tokyo footage and I'm going to be starting my Malaysia videos, which have all different types of things about Malaysia and Indonesia as well, with food, and we did a homestay and we visited animals and bird parks and all this kind of stuff. And that too will be about at least 20 or 30 videos that I'll have to post, over the next few months or 6 months that I had that I haven't posted yet. So all this kind of worked out for me a little bit because my content and my videos haven't been too affected by the pandemic. I'm just still going and still posting the stuff I have. So, and two, people are kind of like missing, they're missing being out and traveling. So they want to, and also they want to plan their trips now while they're stuck at home, until things are opening up. So they're going to be looking for those videos on what it was like, beforehand or what things are still open. And I do include little parts about current information too, as well. For example, if, I'll write in the video or say what companies are doing, during COVID right now and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
That's great. You are adding few additional tips for the audiences as well who are watching your content.
Yes.
So like, which is your favorite social media platform as such? Like, do you prefer YouTube or Instagram or Facebook? Like, which is your favorite?
Well, yes, my main content is I'm like all on YouTube, so that's like my main thing. But Instagram, of course, is like my favorite for pictures and everything. And Facebook is really good too. And eventually, soon, I'm going to be rolling out my website, which is basically going to be all that stuff combined, a little bit of blogging and everything. So in January 2021, I want to have that out, and that will just be, my name and everything. So that's very exciting too. Yeah, but I mean, in this day and age, you got to use all of the social medias that you can possibly use, as you probably know. It's just, you got to keep track of all of it, because if you're just behind on one, then, it's a different set of eyes on each platform.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go on. Yeah.
Instagram, then we have to focus on Reddit as well, like, to grab all the social audiences. Yeah, and I've seen your few videos, like you majorly focus on long-term travel. Like you have traveled to 12 countries for like 2 years. It's quite an achievement for you, because I can't think of traveling to 12 countries only for a major part of my life. For example, 2 years is a major chunk, you can say. Like, so how do you plan long-term travel? How do you plan, like, what are the essential things to pack? How do you plan your bookings?
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you for saying the accomplishment. Thank you very much. Yeah, as I said, like how to plan. First of all, you have to like really decide: do you want to be out for a long time or a short time? And like, what kind of traveler are you? And to kind of test this out, we beforehand, my boyfriend at the time, now fiance, took a couple trips to like see if we like the shorter or the longer. So we did, we backpacked around Ecuador for only like 2 weeks when we went there for a wedding. And just with our little trips, we realized that we do like the longer kind of adventures. So originally we, saved our money, we made a plan, we made like an itinerary just for a year. And the first ticket we only bought one ticket to Thailand. And then the rest we kind of bought and booked as we went along. Ahead of time too. We would stay kind of in each country for about like a month or a few weeks, or 2 months. Vietnam, we stayed for 6 months, and we had an apartment in Vietnam. So that's what we did for that. But I mean, the sooner you can book flights and stuff, the cheaper, the less cost it will be. And booking tours or trips or something, everything that you could do in advance, try to do in advance. But at the same time, you got to leave open for spontaneity and change of plans. Originally in the year, we actually planned on going to both Southeast Asia and South America, but we kind of cut out South America because we realized we wanted to stay longer in Southeast Asia and Asia region. So, and then we extended it for another year. So you never know what's going to happen when you're out there. But yeah, those are kind of all my trips, my tips. Of course, before you book the flight, you should try to have, your plan for like what your income's going to be or what your job's going to be. And it's pretty easy to get a job in that region, especially as an English teacher. You can work in a hostel. And Facebook is really good tool for kind of planning your trip ahead of time. There's a million different groups for different regions and getting jobs in those regions. So yeah, just kind of setting up your foundation and your first couple experiences and your first job, and then you can just take it from there.
Okay, great. Thanks for the specific info. Like you have covered major of Southeast Asia. Like what do you really liked about the Southeast Asia culture wise, or do you like the people here? Like what do you really like the most about the South Asian countries?
Let's see. Well, first of all, the food is really good. My favorite cuisine was actually in Vietnam. So, I mean, I love them all, but Vietnamese is like very heavy on herbs and all this kind of delicious goodness. So I love that. But in general, they're all like really nice and welcoming to tourists, which, people, because I'm from America and going to Vietnam, I had people older than me say, oh, if you go to Vietnam, like, won't they not like Americans because of the Vietnamese War, and the Vietnam-American War. But we got there and there was no hostility at all open arms. Everyone wanted to show us their culture, their food, their homes. We felt like very welcomed and accepted, and people wanted to just like learn more about America. And this is in all the countries, not just Vietnam. But yeah, basically it was just so like welcoming and friendly towards the tourists, no matter what country you're from. If you were a non-local, then they wanted to include you in everything. They wanted to be your friend and they wanted to help. And it was so funny because sometimes like they would just like want to help to be nice and just like be your friend. But in America, like random people don't usually just like, you know, if you're drunk on the side of the road, a random person like won't walk you home, for example, or something like that. Or if like one time I thought I was being followed by somebody on a motorbike, but they were just like offering a ride, like as a ride service. So just like everything's a lot more chill over there and friendly towards like visitors or strangers that they don't know. So that's pretty cool. So that's kind of like my favorite thing about the culture and the people over there. Yeah.
So have you been to India so far or not?
No, I haven't been to India, but I've been to Malaysia and Indonesia, which Malaysia has like a huge Indian culture over there. And so I've had some experiences with like Indian food and Indian dance and all this kind of stuff. So I really like it. Actually, before the pandemic, I was going to go to an Indian wedding of my friends in India, but that got canceled. Maybe you'll get rescheduled someday. But yeah, but I've heard a lot of great things.
Yeah, absolutely. You are welcome to India anytime.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And can you share a few of your local experiences of your 2 years backpacking? Like any kind of emotional connect you have meant with, like engaged with any kind of people there, you have lived with any kind of families there. So have you formed any kind of emotional connect with there? So you want to share any kind of a story from your local experiences? That has
Yes, sure. Yes, well, we did. I mean, I'm connected to online pretty much everyone I met on my trip. So like every family that I interacted with, every homestay I've been in, since we lived in an apartment in Vietnam, I'm still like connected with the people that ran the apartment. Let's see, some just like local experiences. I mean, just like in general with just like everyone being so nice. Like that even came across nice and helpful, even if they didn't speak the language. So for example, like one time I had a motorbike accident and my arm got scraped up and I was like bleeding and everything, and everyone just like instantly came over and helped and you know, got me all bandaged up and like got me to the hospital. And I didn't have to like even though they didn't speak English, they were just like already willing to like drop everything and help me. And even afterwards too, just little things of like them being noticing, for example, like because I had my arm in a sling for a while and I was at a restaurant trying to use chopsticks and it wasn't really working. So without even saying anything, the waitresses just came over and just like gave me a fork and knife because they knew like I needed help. So yeah, just basically like little moments like that where, oh yeah, and then one time, this is so funny. We were hiking the Hong En mountains, not mountains, the caves. And it was like the last leg up the mountain. And I was like really struggling to get up there. And the rest of the people were like already up and done. And then the tour guide took my arm and helped me climb up it, but basically kind of like was helping me like push me up. And then at the very top, he's like, okay, you walk a little bit ahead and, you know, you can pretend that you like did this all by yourself. So I was like, oh, phew, thank you. So I like, I finished, yay. So it was very nice and sweet and, you know, not something he had to do either, but yeah, he helped me up too. So yeah, just like those kind of local experiences. And we met a lot of children in the homestays and all the children were so sweet. And even a family, this was especially in Bali, a lot of like we were at a temple and this whole family like wanted me to hold their baby and they wanted to like take pictures like with me and my fiance and like their baby and like all this kind of stuff. So yeah, just a lot of kindness, a lot of welcoming. Just trying all the different foods and cultures and dances, and being as respectful as I can. And if ever I followed all the rules for every country, for every different type of dress and attire and everything. So yeah, that's kind of just some local experiences I had.
Seems like you have collected lots of stories when you've been to 2 years of that backpacking trip. You have immense amount.
Yeah, because sorry, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, you have collected so much good amount of stories in your back of your mind. You're just recollecting these moments you have spent 2 years back then.
Yeah, I mean, there's just countless memories, and especially because we did all different types of kind of traveling experiences. We did more of the local experiences where we'd go on the non-touristy type of areas and the homestays, and we did do some of the touristy type things and the backpacker and the hostel life, and we stayed at party hostels and went to the backpacker parties, and then the next day we'd go over a family's house for dinner. So we have staying for a longer time of living there for a couple months, and then like a short trip of a few weeks. So we did a lot of different types of budget and nice, different things too. We kind of mixed into each other. We did a lot of couch surfing too, where we'd stay with local people who lived in the area. So that was really fun too, because they got to show us, their home and everything. So that's a really good tip if you want like a local tour guide, just kind of like built in, because that's basically what couch surfing is. Because like when you stay with someone's house for couch surfing, then you become friends, and then they you can hang out with them, and they like want to show you their area, and they want to become friends with you and learn all about where you're from. So that was pretty cool too.
Great. So when you travel, you prefer hotels, resorts, or do you prefer the couch surfing or the hostels kind of stay?
Prefer both. I mean, it's good to have a mixture of different things, because with the hostels, sometimes the parties will just like be going all night long, and you can't do that forever. So that's fun for a few days, but then you want to do a more like quiet type of, and hotels sometimes, and hotels and hostels are sometimes the same prices too. That's kind of a misconception that all hotels are really expensive, but sometimes over there they're cheaper, or the hostels may be more expensive than the hotels. But yeah, we like the mixture. And then with couch surfing, like one time we were sleeping basically on the floor on a mat for couch surfing, and we had such a great time with the girl and her, and learning about everything. But then of course, obviously, the next place we got was like a bed with like our private room and everything. So it's good to have a mixture, and I liked them all.
So have you learned any kind of local language when you've been traveling to these countries?
Yes. Well, I mean, we learned a little bit of each place when we went along the way. Like with Thailand, I remember Saudi Ka and Saudi Kap, and let's see, I'm trying to remember now. It was like long ago, but yeah, just like thank you and hello and all these kind of words, and arigato, thank you in Japanese. So I basically kind of know like a few words here and there from everywhere. And I found that even if you don't quite know how to pronounce it correctly, they're still very appreciative that you try. So I found they will smile, and they will take it as a gesture that you're trying to, respect their culture and everything, even if you don't do it correctly. So that's a tip I have about that. If you want to participate, just participate, and they're going to appreciate you being polite and trying your best.
Great. Yeah. It's like, when did your actual video blogging journey started? It is started from 2018 after your 2 years of traveling, or you started in between when you're traveling, like you are creating short snippets of content? Like, how do you manage?
Yes. Yeah, I started, my channel started in the middle pretty much of our trip. So maybe about 6 months to 8 months in, when we actually just kind of sat down and we got an apartment, is when I was like, okay, we're gonna stay here for a little while. It's gonna be a lot easier to focus on making videos. So this was in 2017 when we were living in Vietnam. So that's when it started, and then I was posting and traveling at the same time for the last pretty much 6 months of our trip, with all the different social media platforms and everything. And that's why I do have so much backlog footage too, because it's hard to edit and travel at the same time. So I did do both, and now I'm just gonna be doing the one, the creating. So it's fun to do both though, because then you can just share everything in the moment and everything. So yeah.
Great. So what are your biggest learnings so far in your video content creation journey? What are the things you have learned you earlier are not aware of?
Oh yes, let's see. Well, you mean that I could pass down to people who want to maybe start a channel of their own or something? Let's see. Well, I think first of all, I think you gotta decide if you can make the videos every week, especially for YouTube. I think that's very important for the algorithm, is the consistency of at least once a week. And now sometimes YouTube's saying that you should post twice a week, but I don't know, that might be too much. But also too, I wish I had known to get equipment that was a little more friendly to hold and to handle. When I was traveling, I had this big, huge Nikon or Canon camera that's this big, and then a vlog stick, and it's heavy, and I'm walking around like this. Actually that sometimes kind of deferred people wanting to be in the videos, because they kind of see this big camera and get nervous and not want to be oh no, I'm shy. But if you whip out your cell phone and you're filming the same thing, then they think it's more casual, so they want to join in more. So I would say invest in a very small, discreet, either good cell phone and good stability tripod thing. The technology too has gotten so advanced just in the few years that it's been. They've been making cameras and cell phones specifically for people who want to vlog and film on the road. So that's a couple things. So just try to be and make the videos as easy as you can, so that you can produce them as fast as possible, is a tip I have for all of you.
So do you also use GoPro for your running shots or adventure shots or not?
Yeah, I have used the GoPro before. One of my videos is of me riding on the back of my friend's motorbike in Thailand. So I wore the GoPro strapped to the helmet and then took video of that. And we also did scuba diving a lot. So I have a lot of underwater videos coming up in the future that show us with whale sharks and everything. And so I have used the GoPro. It's funny because the GoPro is really good, of course, for the adventure, and if you're going to do underwater, if you're going to, do bungee jumping or something like that. But for everyday filming, I don't know, for me, I just the little screen, I'm I want to play it back and see how it looks, but it's kind of hard to see how it looks. So I did use it a lot for the adventure, but not so much for the day-to-day. I used the DSLR.
Okay. So what are your plans for next year? One plan you told me you want to launch your website in Jan 2021.
Yes.
What are your other?
What'd you say?
Yeah. And what are your other goals for your blogging career as your social media journey? What are your goals for next year, 2021?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna just be still producing my videos, and I'm gonna be making my videos of Malaysia and Philippines and Taiwan and Indonesia too. So I've got all that coming up for the next year, a couple years. So that's gonna be really fun. And basically just getting that website up, keep going on the videos, and just kind of growing and sharing my story and helping other people travel too. Because I think even though COVID shut down everything, I feel like it's made people want to travel more because they can't, everyone wants what they can't have. But
the travel bloggers.
The what?
You can virtually travel with the travel bloggers. with their YouTube videos, they can virtually travel.
Yes, so they can virtually travel with my videos, but I mean, eventually things are going to open up. So I feel like if people want to do like an adventure for a couple years, then they still can in the future. Maybe not right now, but they'll be able to. And I think people are a little more open-minded to different ways of life because everyone's life became so disrupted and different. So they're like, oh, if the life could change this quickly, maybe I could change the life too, to do something else. So yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. It's all kind of uncertainty we are living in right now, like uncertain times, and we have to take uncertain measures as well.
Yeah.
And Deanna, like, do you have any kind of journey planned for next year? Do you have any kind of a journey in your mind, or you're planning for any kind of a journey for next year?
I might be. I have to see, but there is a travel blogger conference in Thailand that I have been thinking about going to. So I have to kind of see how things play out. You know, I don't want to buy tickets or anything too in advance. You know, I don't want anything to be canceled or any things to be changed, but I did renew my passport. I did that by mail because you can't go inside in person right now at the places. So I got my passport renewed. I'm looking at a couple things, so that's what I might be doing. But of course, I want to be safe and, you know, follow the guidelines and everything.
Okay, awesome. So now we are like coming to end to our podcast, and today I'm really pretty much sure like my audience would be really I loved your video interview. Like you have shared all your secrets, like travel hacks, and how to plan your journeys, like long-term travel. And you can also like viewers can also watch your YouTube channel for Vietnam and Japan. Like you have great amount of content there, and you're also planning for other countries you have traveled so far. And do you have any last minute thoughts? Do you want to share something with my audience?
Ooh, let's see. I will say to all of you, don't be scared. Put yourself out there. Get the ticket, get the plane when it's safe to do so. Prepare yourself now. And if you want to start a blog, then you could go for it. And that's all I have to say for you guys. Thank you so much for having me on here. Again, my name is Deanna Troy Travels, Deanna Troy Travels on everything. And I'm sure I'll be linked in the description. So thank you so much. Come join me on YouTube, Instagram. And I really love being on here. So thank you so much.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Deanna. Thanks for joining in. And you can follow Deanna. I will share all her handles in the YouTube description of this video. And you can shout out to Deanna. You can shoot out some questions if you have any kind of questions regarding to these countries Deanna has traveled so far. Deanna would be happy to answer any of your queries. And you can travel virtually with Deanna until our travel plans are being paused as of now. So happy to host you, Deanna, today. Like, thanks for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.